All right, back on the old Thunderbolt here. Just getting ready to set up this Boyer electronic ignition. I just noticed something a little bit, this must be geared more towards Triumph. It says 38 degrees before top dead center for setting it up. I installed a different kit last summer than Boyer on my dad's 67 Lightning. I installed this kit here. It's a Wassel, and I noticed in here it's got a chart in their instructions for the BSA to be 34, which is what the book calls for, the shop book. It does list a Triumph in here at 38. It's got the Norton Commando and a Norton Atlas also listed. So far the instructions from what I read seem decent, but that's kind of a little misleading if, box says Triumph BSA on it, but they're saying 38 degrees, but you go to the shop manual, it's 34 in all the books. This is an older book. It's got the older style pin there for the crank. Here's a newer style. This bike's a 69. I don't know if you can see it in there. Shine a light in there. Kind of see the cutout where the tool goes in there. This is on the obviously the front of the engine case, obviously. So I just put it in gear, slowly roll it around to that spot. I'm gonna throw the tool back in it. Put it neutral and throw the tool back in it. And I'm gonna I got new coils. Gonna pull these out. Check the new ones, see what they read. The instructions they're pretty straightforward. Just figured I'd mention that. I noticed that between these two kits. All right, standing by. All right, I pulled off the old coils and measured those just for shits and grins there, like over 4 ohms each. These are 2.5 ohms each. They're the new 6-volt coils. Their paperwork says practical matter total coil or coil in series resistance should be between 3 to 7.5 ohms. Pretty easy to check, but yeah, definitely want to install new parts and the correct 6-volt coils the way I'm going to have this set up. All right, back at it out here this morning. Gonna stick this rotor on per the instructions. I marked a hole on the stator plate. It's anti-clockwise for the A65 Lightning here I'm working on, or Thunderbolt, same thing I guess. Slight differences, but same engines. So I just marked a hole with a Sharpie, which hole I gotta be lined up with. It's that one there. So it's going to 2 different thread bolts that are supplied in the kit. I got the other one in there that we need here. I'm going to get the stator just snugged in there a little bit, just so I can still move it, but not, real tight. Rotate it around where that stator hole lines up with the screw. All right, got the rotor tightened down. The stator's mounted. The screw on the rotor lines up with the stator where it's supposed to on the marked hole for the anti-clockwise for this A65. I did notice the Boyer kit had longer bolts. It did say you could cut them. So I figured out the pitch of the bolts, married them up, figured out the pitch there, but it seemed long, so I looked in the Wassel kit. So instead of cutting it, I just one of the Wassel bolts here. their bolts seem to be shorter. So I used one of those, and seemed to work out fine. The hole, the camshaft hole for the where you tighten that rotor down to, this point setup with the bob weights and all this, much longer bolt. But also, I don't think, besides being longer, I don't think the thread engagement was that far with that setup. So I used some tap magic and ran the original bolt down further in there. I don't think I bottomed it out or anything, but further down to clean up threads and blow it out the air, because when I was using the one shorter wassail bolt, it would go in about as far as the original bolt will go into comparing the threads, but it wasn't seating the rotor. And it was, not stopping like tight, but it was tight to where I was like, yeah, I wanted to clean the threads out. I just assumed they had never been used, because you could see the original engagement of the point system. The bolt didn't go in real far, so the rotor had to play in it. It wouldn't seat all the way. So once I cleaned it up, like I said, ran the original bolt in there with some tap magic on it, and then took it out, blew it out with some air, and the bolt from the wassail kit, the shorter bolt, snugged that rotor up pretty well. So I'm going to get started on the wiring now, and get the boiler box mounted first, and then start on the wiring. Stand by. All right, I got that boiler box secured there. A couple zip ties, that Velcro on there, that spray adhesive. Should keep it pretty secure. The kit came with one zip tie, or it said use tape. I'm sure this is more than better than that. I'll get the wiring cleaned up once I figure out my air filter situation. I got a cone filter coming, or if that doesn't work, I'll do an offset stock style one. And I'll get some of this black wiring conduit like I ran for the ground there. Decided to go with the frame ground instead of the battery, mentioned either frame or battery. These are pretty good flush cuts. I got it Harbor Freight for cutting zip ties where they don't leave a sharp edge. They do a pretty good job. I was using a razor for quite a while. Still do sometimes, but if I can't fit these in there, I'll cut a zip tie with the razor so there's not a sharp edge on it. Cut you later. I did a kit at my dad's, this wassail kit. It was kind of the same scenario where stuff doesn't, your coils are smaller, the brackets for the 12-volt coils are bigger, so the 6-volt coils they're smaller. So I kind of made some brackets. Not sure if I assume this aluminum bracket was made up for a kit like this, even though it had points on it when I got it from the auction. I think a lot of stuff was just tossed back on the bike. I get go take a peek at how I did it on my dad's bike. Just give you an idea of how this kit was installed versus how I'm doing this one. All right, here's the wassail kit. Made some brackets for the coil there. Kind of see the box stashed in there. This bike's got a new wire harness on it. Guess maybe I could probably see more from the other side. Let's go pan over to the other side here. You can see the box kind of tucked up in there. It's zip tied there, kind of similar to the other one. Didn't use any Velcro on this one. It seemed pretty secure, so I didn't see a need for it. But yeah, made some little brackets. Kits come with quite a bit of wiring. I kind of The side cover does cover up a good portion of this wiring I got tucked up in here. I kind of didn't want to, put anything under the seat. Kind of keep it out in its, airflow. Kind of similar to the Patronics. I did the amount of that out here. Yeah, the zip ties, of course, these aren't show bikes or stock bikes or, nothing like that. This isn't a restoration type stuff in this garage going on. It's just make stuff better and run it. But that's out there in the wind getting some airflow. Did the same thing on that Thunderbolt. You could squeeze the stuff under the seat possibly, top the oil tank, but I don't think it's better to get some air across that stuff. Anyhow, finishing off for the day and heading to work. All right, back out here in the morning. Got the wiring started here at the stator. Got quite a bit extra wire here from the old stuff from the points to the Boyer box there. I'm going to shorten that up and I'm going to use more of this 3/8, or actually it's smaller than that, this other smaller conduit. I was going to do the shrink wrap thing, but that stuff's pretty good for keeping stuff from chafing. I'm probably going to put a little bit of fusion tape on this wire here where it passes along close to that screw. It'd probably be fine, but I'm not wanting to have anything chafing through and causing problems. Oh, I'm going to get started here. All right, back out here this morning. Didn't do another video yesterday when I was finishing up. It was still a mess, and it's decent. It's better than it was. Probably got plenty of zip ties in there, I'd say. No shortage of those. But it's better than what it was. This harness isn't great. I do got a new one downstairs, but I'm going to use that in my 66 I'm redoing instead. Just trying to get this thing running for the summer. We bought it for parts, pretty much, at an auction. Was going to part it out, but it's pretty decent shape, so we'll get it up and running. Ignition is working. I got spark. Let's see, that adhesive's holding that box pretty good. It's really tight now that it's set up. Guess I'll go over to the other side. Oh, yeah, I got sidetracked with a tail light, of course. Tail light bracket on eBay. Kind of got sidetracked putting that on and had to finagle a few things and tweak a few things. There was some bent stuff. Yeah, here's the other side. There's a few wires in there that didn't get put in the conduit. There's kind of no need for it, in my opinion. You're not going to rub on anything. It doesn't. And I might circle back to that, put some small pieces on there, just make it uniform, but they really don't need it. But this harness, I owned it out and stuff. Everything seems it's decent. The cloth is missing. It's been wrapped with electrical tape. So there might be some sketch going on there, but it seems okay for now. Might circle back and if things turns out to be a decent runner, maybe throw a new harness on it down the road. But that's where I'm finishing off for today. Oh yeah, these wires here, plug wires. I was going to put a new set on here, but these seem brand new. I think they're my dad, guy painted his bike and put it back together and cleaned it up. I think he threw those on there. So I'm going to save my other 2 sets of wires I got. And these things look brand new. There's 7, where's it at? Yeah, you can probably see it on the other one. Yeah, 7 mil, copper made in USA. They got to be decent. I was going to go with these ones from Lowbrow. I think I'll save that for that 70 Lightning, and then I got these ones for my 66 I'm redoing. Oh, kill switch, that's it. That's another thing I was forgetting about. I did add the one of those horn button style kill switches there. Yeah, I forgot about that yesterday. I got spark on it, and I kind of spaced that out and had to come back and splice that in. I had to take apart this loom I had here. That conduit had to come back apart this morning to splice that in. It says that Wassel instructions, they didn't mention, I don't remember them mentioning how to do a kill switch, but this one, their diagrams show a couple different ways. Positive ground, you put it on the white wire. Negative ground, you can put a kill button on the black wire. Then it talks about if you're using a grounding kill button, you can go to the black and yellow wire on either a positive or negative, but never a grounding kill button on the black wire on positive ground systems. And this is wired positive ground. I think that's about it. I gotta get going and get to work. All right, guessing my next step will be putting oil in it. New fuel petcocks. Yeah, getting close. Definitely seeing light at the end of the tunnel. This transmission rebuild took longer than expected. Well, wasn't expected to do that. We just planning on getting spark on it and getting it running. Didn't have points or a mess on it. Yeah, until next time. Later. All right, just finishing up this Boyer electronic ignition on a 69 Thunderbolt. I did install this Wassel kit on a 67 Lightning. They're both really good kits. I know I might have compared them to each other. They got their differences, but all in all, I would pick. It's hard to pick which kit to go with. They both seem really decent. Obviously a step above the old point system. I haven't had a Paisan kit, I believe. That's what it's called, Paisan. I haven't done one of those yet. Maybe I will in the future, but I'm not like using these as a comparison, like type installation. They're both decent and a lot better than dealing with points. Old snowmobiles had points, and they got away from them for a reason. Same thing with putting one of these kits on an old bike. It's definitely the way to go.